Hello there, and welcome to the Conversations with Shawna show. Thank you for those who are joining me live. Say hi, and for those of you on the replay, give me hashtag replay so I can say hi to you later. And if we have not met yet, hi there, I'm Shawna. I'm a mindset and success coach, founder of the Aligned Selling Method, and I help heart-centered female entrepreneurs sell with confidence in a way that feels as easy as having a conversation. I guide you through your fear, doubt, and uncertainty so that you can generate wealth doing what you love, sharing your big vision with the world. To me, selling is serving. So for today, I have a beautiful guest that I'm interviewing, and I invite you to join me in welcoming Pamela Lynch. Welcome, Pamela.
Thank you. I am so delighted to be here with you.
I'm so glad you're here. And for those of you who don't know Pamela is the word whisperer. Her role as a spiritual librarian and founder of Source Code Publishing is to help document the shift in consciousness. Pamela's gift is to hold open the doorway to the portal of language in her sacred writing sessions, where new information flows through for each client's stream of consciousness. She also helps to guide people to the whispers of their soul to heal and come to their self. After a 31-year career, congratulations, in book publishing, Pamela spent a decade immersed in intuitive coaching, the healing arts, and ancient wisdom. She launched her own publishing company in 2018 and published 4 transformational books in her first year. Holy crap, that is amazing. Welcome, Pamela.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot, but yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Oh, hello, Karen. Thank you for joining us live. And so, Pamela, share a little bit more about yourself. Oh, I got to check the comments here in the group. Yes, hi, Linda, too. Thank you. So share a little bit more about yourself before we dive into today's topic, which is accountability for words to propel wealth. It's about taking personal responsibility for your wealth. So before we dive in that, tell us a little bit more about you.
I'm a mother of 2 grown men and one who has a little girl. So I have a 4-year-old, almost 5 years old this month. And I just love experiencing life. Yeah. So I spend my time out. I live right by the lake. We've been talking lately about how we co-create everything and how I've co-created this condo that's right on the beach. So I get to go out on my paddleboard and am reminded often that wealth is not just about money in the bank. Money is about living in $1 million condo that I rent, who said you had to own, right? And being able to have the freedom to go and do the things you love to do at times when, if I was working at a job, I wouldn't be able to do.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I love that you said that, because I've known Pamela now. I think it's been 3 years since we met in Kelowna at an event. And just being on this journey together, and same thing, like just totally changing our mindset about wealth. So let's dive into some of these points we're going to talk about today. So one of the points is we were born, I love this, extraordinary. So let's just pause on that for a moment. So everybody here's live and everybody on the replay, just breathe that in. We were born extraordinary, yet we've been conditioned to be ordinary. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I loved when this came through for me, because it took a really long time to recognize that we're all extraordinary. And that means me too. That means you. That means you listening. You're born extraordinary. We are these little light beings that come into the human form to come here for the experience. And the gift that we get to overcome is to know that we come from that place and that we are coming back to that place in this lifetime. We do not need to leave these bodies to become extraordinary again. We are already extraordinary, and it's about having the shifts in mindset and having conversations like these and being surrounded by beautiful light workers and healers and extraordinary people who we get to journey with so that we can mirror that to each other.
I love that you said that, because it truly is mirroring to each other. And because sometimes, we're through our life growing up, we are conditioned to think, in most cases we're ordinary. We lose the fact that we were born here extraordinary. And I love that you said that, because that's what it takes. It takes leaders, it takes healers, it takes people stepping up to be their authentic self, to mirror that back to other people, that, oh, I'm extraordinary too. I can be like that too. I have that within me.
Yeah. And we had someone mirroring that to us like 3 years ago. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's still all around us. Like, I'm seeing it all the time, people mirroring back. I had an amazing visit with my brother this weekend. His story that he went through, and I won't go into it, but he's a cancer survivor when he was given 6 months to, 12 months to live. And he's mirrored back to me, not to give up the fight, not to give up hope, not to take what the doctors say as gospel, that there's other methods, there's other whatever. And here he is today, 6 months after being in a hospital in Tijuana, he's cancer free. And so his mindset alone through his journey, and I'm bringing that into this conversation because it mirrored back to me that, oh my God, there's so many times where we don't see the extraordinary side of things. We just go for, like you were saying, the ordinary, and people all around us mirror such beautiful things back to us every day. We just have to be open to see that mirror.
Yeah. And so one of the quotes that I love comes from Jean Houston, is, what I appreciate appreciates.
Yes.
So the more that we see that mirrored to us, the more that we can mirror that back to other people and appreciate what we have even more.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Colleen. Thank you for joining us. Oh, she likes my purple background. I know. My little faux rugs. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. I love this conversation, because you and I could talk forever about this, because there's just so much around it. But let's dive into wealth for a minute here. So we look at the true meaning of wealth comes from the words well-being. So let's talk about that for a bit more. Let me know your thoughts on that.
So when I started to dive in what the true meaning of wealth was, of course, I'm a word whisperer, so I love words. I've been studying words. It was no mistake. I ended up in book publishing for 31 years and then have my own publishing company, right? I love where words come from. And the word wealth comes from the word well-being, but even deeper than that is wholeness. So when we are well, when our being is well, we are whole. We are whole beings, just as we are. We don't need to be fixed. We might have some misguided perceptions about who we are and what the world is around us. But right now in this moment, if we can just tap into the energy of wholeness, and in wholeness, we are already wealthy. We have everything we need. And I don't remember who shared this with me, but it was years ago. It was early in my journey, like probably 2012. And they were saying that, like, we are already everything that we need to be. There is nothing missing from us. When we tap into this moment and we think about, in the background, there's these things that we want to overcome, or we don't have enough of something and not enough money, not enough. But in this moment, we lack nothing. Right. And if we can just be present with that, we get to have the experience of being whole. Yeah.
That just gave me chills and goosebumps. I'm like, oh my God, because I had a moment today where I took my dogs for a walk, and then I was sitting in the sunroom, and all of a sudden my head, I went from human being to the human doing, and my head started thinking of all these things I had to do, blah, 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 blah. And I actually started feeling myself move over into the whole nervousness, going, oh man, I got to do this. And I created another Facebook group for down the road, and all of a sudden I realized people were coming into it. And I don't even know where they came into it from. I'm like, well, I haven't even put it together yet. And I was like, oh my God. And I actually put myself into a panic mode. I was like, oh crap. And so then I was like, same thing with you, like with our practice and our training, right? I was just took some breaths, looked out into the field, and I'm like, okay, all is well in this moment.
Yeah.
In this moment, I have everything. It's all within. Just breathe. And so I love that you brought that up as part as the wealth and the well-being, because I like to look out at the fields behind my house, the sky, and look at abundance all around and what wealth means. It's like we have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of like wealth means so much. And I love that you brought it into well-being. I think that is so beautiful because everybody attaches the money to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so much richer than that. Right? It's, when we think about, like I'm sitting here, yes, it's very smoky here in BC, but normally I can see the water and the mountains and all of the trees. Like there's thousands of trees and they're all connected underground and they're all one, right? And it's like there is such an abundance. The grass that I see outside, there's an abundance of this beautiful lush green grass. And like you couldn't even count the blades. There's so many.
Yeah.
And so, just inviting ourselves to just look around and see what we have in our surroundings. And for the most part, most of us have surrounded ourselves with beautiful things. Like beautiful this beautiful picture that Marie Martin gave me.
Exactly.
We receive all of these gifts in life, right? And sometimes we give them to ourselves. Yeah. So much abundance, and abundance and wealth are very similar vibrations, right? Like love and abundance is the same vibration. Like you can tap into. We always have love available to us every single moment because we are love. Our being is love, and so we can tap into the frequency of love anytime. And right within that strand is abundance. And then we can come into wealth, right? So it's kind of like this being able to say, where does that live in my body? Where is that energy in my body? Mm-hmm. Invite the viewers to just close their eyes and just feel into that, feel in your body and ask, where does wealth live in me? Yeah. And then just pause and see what you receive.
Yeah. And what comes to you. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh. Speaking of the wealth, Linda's saying here, being thankful for the gifts we are given and stumble onto. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. Because we stumble onto them as well. So we had talked about, so aligned wealth in the monetary sense comes when we feel worthy of receiving, and words propel action to inspire humanity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd made that comment. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So when we believe, so believing and receiving are aligned, right? Because we will receive what we believe we're worthy of. Yeah. And it's not what we think we want, what we hope for, wish for. It's what we believe we're worthy of receiving. And so when we can make that declaration that I'm worthy of receiving, right? I am worthy of receiving, and then whatever it is that you're wanting to receive. And it's about not pretending, right? It's about, do I believe enough in myself that I'm worthy to receive that? Yeah. And then the piece that you had mentioned about our words propel wealth. Well, everything is energy, including every single word. So how we choose to use a word can propel us into wealth, into well-being, into wholeness, or it can put us into lack, fear, stress. Mm-hmm. And so being really mindful of the words that we're using and the energy that we're giving it, because it's not just the words have a vibration. Every word has its own, everything has its own vibration. And then being really aware of what it's invoking in us, the emotion that it's invoking within us.
Right.
So if something doesn't feel good, that's because it's not landing for you. It's on the lack, fear, judgment side, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to if it feels good and you are lit up, then it's over on the joy and abundance and the well-being side
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah, exactly. That's also, we talked about like when we are whole, there's nothing missing, and it's time for us to remember that we are whole, worthy, and wealthy right now. And then let's also tie this in, because what's coming through as you're talking right now, and I know we're going to talk in a little bit about a course Pamela has coming up, but I want to talk about this in regards to, because I'm going to bring it up, and I didn't tell you I was going to bring it up, but your sacred writing class. Are you still holding those?
I am.
Because I just want to share with everybody really quick. I had the opportunity to experience it, and all the stuff we were talking about with words and propelling you into wealth and this and that. When I did, and I want you to talk about that as well, about your sacred writing, because when I took that, I started a brand new journal and started writing, and words came through and stuff came out that I was just like, wow, where's this coming from? Like there was so much came out that actually really helped me understand a lot of stuff I'd been going through, but also helped me going, here's where I want to go with my life and my vision. Like my vision started taking place as I was writing. So let's talk about that.
I'm so excited. I started the sacred writing sessions when I first started my publishing company, and I was offering a writing program, and in that I was creating what I was calling a co-working writing space where everybody would just come in and write, and I thought I would be writing as well. And I started meditating, and people were instantly having these remarkable downloads. Mm-hmm. No other word for it. And so now I've come to understand, because this is like, 2, almost 3 years into the journey of the sacred writing sessions, is I'm coded to hold open the doorway to the portal of language, which you mentioned at the very beginning. This is a huge portal. Language is a huge portal. And so now what happens is I open the doorway and I'm activating energy, right? Because we both practice Q, quantum expansion. I activate the energy and I run energy. So I'm not meditating, I'm activating the energy. And when I do that, people are coming into the sacred writing sessions and they're accessing their stream of consciousness. So whatever is their connection to their higher self, to the divine, to, the co-creation, they're receiving the messages. So I have people in there who are already very gifted channelers, mm-hmm. and they come into those sessions and the words are clearer. They come through faster. Right. And it's just, they come in. And so one of the things I learned, I'm just going to sidestep for a minute. One of the things I learned early on in my coaching, because I was a certified law of attraction coach back in 2011-12. And one of the things that I learned in there was that when we do inner work, so 1 hour of inner work is equal to 7 hours of outer work.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that.
So, right. So if you meditate for an hour, it's like 7 hours worth of goodness, right? And so I realized that the same can be applied to the sacred writing sessions. When people come in to write for an hour, it's like they've been writing for 7 hours. Yeah. There is so much information that flows through, and it's really clear, mm-hmm. as they're channeling it, right? Because we're all channelers. That's another conversation, but because that's where our ideas come through. Our ideas come from the quantum field. And so once I realized this, right, this came through another one of my coaches, Kyla Clapper, and she does extraordinary work. I worked with her, and this came through. And as soon as she said it, my whole life made sense. Why I was I read like crazy as a little girl. Like the bathwater would go cold. I'd be reading in the bathtub, and my mother would come in and go, "I'm pretty sure that water must be cold by now." Like I've been around books my entire life, and then I landed in publishing, and then I start my own publishing company, right? So it's like it all made sense, and this is probably the greatest gift that I have to give to the world, is to sit and hold space for people while they write and they create. And it's not just for books.
Yeah.
I've had people come in, like you've come in to get insights into your path, into your vision for your life, social media stuff. It's like people are writing all kinds of content in there. So if you write, I invite you to come in.
And the thing is to share with people too. It just depends what you're writing for. Like for me, even I was working on my marketing and my sales page when I first came in, and the words just flowed for that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I couldn't. Yeah, it was quite magical.
Yeah, and it is. And I just see that I'm a vessel, right? Yeah. And this is the gift that I've been given, is to hold this space for people. And and it's so profound what flows through. So thank you for asking and allowing me to share that with your audience. It really is. It really is magical. Yeah.
And it's so beautiful, because you don't have to be writing a book. You don't have, like I said, I was doing my marketing and my sales page. It could be you just want to journal and learn how to journal, and just like have the words just flow, and like you said, have it channeled. Like it's truly is beautiful. And that, and you call it sacred writing sessions, like it's perfect.
Yeah. And I mean, I've had people who've come in, and one of the things they really dislike in their business is to send out invoices. And I have one client, she would come in and she would write up the invoice, she would email it, and she actually got paid during that 1 hour.
Wow.
Right. And it was something that she would just dread doing, and it would take her hours and hours and hours. And she just came in, and it wasn't even her intention coming in. So that's quite often what happens too, is people will come in and they'll intend to say, write their book. And they'll come in, and it's just like, no, that's not what's coming through. You need to do this. Yeah. Right. And so they take this inspired action within those sessions too. So, yeah. It's beautiful.
Because you don't actually know what's going to come through.
No. It's amazing.
I love that. Oh, and there is just, oh yeah. So let's go. Sorry, I know, because I sidetracked there, because that was amazing. I wanted to hear about that. So let's talk about too. We need to be accountable for our words and take personal responsibility for our actions. You've talked about this. So why is that important?
Well, first of all, intention is everything, right? It is how we create, whether like we're either creating by default or through intention, right? So we're deliberately, and then choosing our words is going to be the outcome that we receive, right? Is going to be directly related to the thoughts that we put in and the feelings that we have about it, right? And so if we become deliberate, might not be the right word, but intentional about the words that we're choosing, we can create magic. So it's so important that we stop and realize what we're saying, because everything has an impact on everything. Right? So we might even be speaking, I'll use this example. So I remember going off to a network meeting, and it was first thing in the morning. It was like a 7 a.m. meeting. Why I would sign up for that was, I don't know. People, I guess I liked being there. But anyway, I was rushing, and I looked in my closet, and I went, I have nothing to wear. So I put on a pair of pants, because obviously there were clothes in my closet that I could wear. And I put on a pair of pants, and I was running down the stairs, and I tripped, and I fell on my knee, and I took the knee out of my pants. Now, I really not want to have anything to wear, because we could create that. Yeah. Right. And so, I mean, that was a thought, that was something I said out loud to myself under my breath. And then I manifested it, like, within an hour. Right. So we are always creating, right? We're co-creators, with our clothes, we're co-creators with everything. And so whatever we're saying, we can bring that into being. Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That means that we need to take personal responsibility for the words that we're choosing to use, because we get to choose them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For conscious about it, it just comes out, but we're still choosing. We're still choosing to be unconscious with our language and the words that we use. Yeah. Yeah. And self-responsibility goes beyond words.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a topic on its own that we could like talk about forever. Taking self-responsibility.
But we could just start with the words, right? Like I invite people to, when they have their next conversation, whether it's with themselves or with another being, to listen to what they say.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Well, and as you do this kind of work as well, you start to notice that, because words, you'll say the words and then it's like, oh, wait a minute. That's not, you can then go, oh, wait, no, that's not right. I don't want that to happen. And so it's like, and I find that sometimes a lot, because I'm taking a lot of notes lately and writing with the course I'm taking. So I put stuff down and then I'll start to think something and then I'll write it. And then I'm like, because I'll a note to remember this, that, and then I'll put something out there. And then I'm all of a sudden like, oh, wait a minute. No, actually, let's rewrite that even, right? Because I notice sometimes the words in your head and then you write down, it's like, oh yeah, no, actually that's not the way I want things to work out.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just being aware of it, right? Being aware of what we're writing and then being able to switch it, right? So whatever you write or think or, believe or whatever, you can have that thought and it's like, okay, so what do I want? I don't want that, but what do I want?
Yeah.
So then you can pivot on that right away, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you said that, because that was exactly one of the exercises, was writing down, what do I want? And it was kind of like in a letter form, right? So I was writing and then I was like, no, I don't want that. But, I love it because you just hit on a key point here, is a lot of times we might not actually be able to articulate or say what we want, but typically we know what we don't want. Yeah. But then by saying what we don't want or writing it down, then we can take a look at it and say, okay, well, I don't want that. Oh, wait a minute, I want this. And then that, like you said, pivots, circles us around to what we do want. So that's definitely, a key point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And quite often it's the first step. It's like, okay, I know I want to transform my life, right? Mm-hmm. Big vision that so many of us have, right? We know that we're powerful creators. And the first step is going, what's in my life that I don't want? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Because it's so much easier to come from that place, because we're going back to our very first point. We're conditioned to be ordinary. We're conditioned to not strive for the things we want, but avoid it's like avoiding, right? And so then we end up with all these things we don't want. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. And then it just becomes habitual. And then it becomes our, it's just accepted into our life, and it becomes very ordinary. And we get to start there. It's like, what's here that I don't want? Yeah. Like, what am I saying that I don't want? What am I thinking that I don't want? And then it's, I don't want that. What do I want? Yeah. So good. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You also, I want to just have you talk about for a minute, because you have a 4-week accountability course coming up. Yeah. 4-week accountability connection course, Rewrite Your Wealth Story. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I am so excited. I'm doing a free event first. So I just did a smaller version of it. And not a smaller version, a sample version. It's free. And I'm going to run that again in August. And that is to really have us look at being accountable for what we're creating and connecting the wealth and the writing, right? Because writing is my thing, and I would love for everybody to really feel into the possibility of wealth, right? From all of the different angles. So I'll be offering that in August, and then in September, I'm going to do a deeper dive into a 4-week program in September that will really help us to rewrite the story, right? Because we have all kinds of stories that are limitations that we put on ourselves. Yeah. And so to be able to, so it's kind of like, what don't I want? Yeah. And then what do I want? Because it's important to heal the stories. So that'll be one of the things that we do in the 4-week program in September, is actually healing some of those money stories.
And then writing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that is so powerful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I will bring in some of the tips and things I've learned about writing and journaling, and being able to help to transform those stories. It's really my goal there for people, is to heal their money stories so that they can see the possibility within themselves for well-being and wealth.
Oh, yeah. That gives me chills, because there's just so many people out there struggling with wealth because of money stories and beliefs they've had, things they've heard their parents say, or aunts and uncles or friends or teachers, whatever, right? All around money. Like, I actually didn't even realize how impactful this is, and how many people suffer from money stories holding them back from having this wealth, this success, where they want to go. Like, it's huge.
Well, and it influences everything, right? So it can influence the relationships that we have with people. So one of the things that I teach is we have a relationship with everything, mm-hmm. right? We have a relationship with clothes. Like I mentioned earlier, like, that's a relationship. It's like, I was talking to my clothes and say, I don't have any clothes. And they're going, okay, you really don't want any clothes. We'll just ruin them for you. So you can, right? Like, there's a relationship with everything. And so seeing the connection between the wealth and well-being and the relationships that we have with ourselves and other people, right? So it influences our whole life.
Yeah.
It's like, if one thing is off, it influences the whole.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for so many of us, it is the idea of not being worthy of money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much comes back to that. And it's just, yeah.
And so being able to just even look at those stories, right, and begin to heal them.
Yeah. I love that. That's so powerful. And for those of you who want to follow Pamela, I did put her links in the comments. So her website, oh my God, TikTok, you got to watch her on TikTok. She's awesome. And then the source code, is that your source code publishing? Is that that's your Facebook page?
Yeah, that's my business page.
Your business page. Yeah. And her business page is there. So feel free to go in there, follow Pamela, reach out to her if you're not friends with her already. Wow, Pam, this has been a great conversation. I mean, there's so much here we could just go on about, but this has been great. I mean, we're 33 minutes in when I looked.
Wonderful.
So I'll get you to stay on. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for those of you joining us live and on the replay. Like I said, give me a #replay. And remember, I believe in you. I believe in your success. And I will be back in my Powerless Women group next Wednesday. And I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about yet. Maybe we'll dive into stuff around sales. So I will see everybody next week. Until then, much love. Thank you so much, Pamela. Love you.
I love you too. Thank you, everyone.